And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, our Tuesday edition. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler, back at the University of Virginia, his home away from home, in his Notre Dame shirt, though. Always repping the brand.
We got some Catholics versus convicts right here.
We have
some
a little
Catholics versus convicts right here on the show.
Oh, I guess I have an ND shirt on, too. Most of my shirts are ND.
There we go.
NDTV. Yeah, representing Notre Dame television right here. And the best executive producer in the game, Zack Bloomquist, is with us, with the camera on him, as always. Ziggy, kudos to you for getting here today. A crazy day of traveling for you. As we were following your journey throughout the day, we didn't know if he was going to make it, but Ziggy said, no, Paul, I am going to be on this show. It is a goal of mine now. So we're very happy and grateful that you were able to make it back in time.
The delays were comical. I think the worst. So like getting out of San Francisco this morning. First, the pilot comes on and says like, oh, we had some difficulty getting crew for this aircraft. It's going to be a few minutes. Okay, we get the crew. Then he says, all right, well, while we were waiting here, there was a fuel spill off to the side.
Of course.
So we can't start because we light the fuel on fire. So they got to get that cleaned up. They finally get it cleaned up. And he says, all right, guys, I don't know why, but there's a plane parked behind us. And until that plane moves, we can't move. So just sit tight. Like, have you ever heard of a plane just rolling up and parking right behind you and just staying there for like a half hour?
There's been so many problems with airports recently, I feel. The delays and like everything.
I mean, yeah, Ziggy, that is pretty funny. I had to get off because a pilot was too tired to fly. So we all had to get off the plane and sleep in the airport.
Well, but that's okay, right? Like, at least...
Ziggy, he was too tired to fly, so they were flying in. One of the pilots coming in from Boston was going to take us, and then they came on 15 minutes later and said, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it appears this pilot is also too tired to fly now.
I mean, what, do you want the pilot to say, yeah, I'm really sleepy, but I'm going to push through it?
I think he could have done it.
Oh. But no, you do not want a sleepy pilot.
I mean, I had a flight canceled as I was boarding. Like, right as I was boarding, this flight is canceled.
Oh, I've deboarded before. It sounds like a crazy day for you, though, Ziggy. That's kind of nuts that Ziggy opened the day 3,000 miles away from
Waking
us.
up in San Francisco,
Yeah, and now he's doing the show from Virginia. That's crazy.
I think I've been to that San Fran airport. I think it's the worst airport I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Oh, horrible. Small, crowded. My flight was like an hour and a half.
Ziggy, can you concur?
It's not the worst airport I've been in. It's pretty low, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this could be worse, but it's low.
Well, all right. We've got the AFC North today. We're breaking down the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and Jack's Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're watching the full episode here, please take 15 seconds and comment the most fun you've had watching a football game in the last 5 years. I say that because I recently watched one of the episodes of Quarterback where they went over the Vikings-Bills game.
Same.
And it was, wasn't that amazing?
I saw the first episode. I don't know if I...
Oh, you gotta watch episode 3.
Paul's just gonna ruin it. Spoiler alert here, obviously. Paul's ruining it for everybody.
What do you mean?
The
Everyone
Vikings
knows
won
what
the
happened.
game.
Yeah, we talked about the game. Yeah. No, it was crazy. But episode 3, basically half the episode is dedicated to the Vikings-Bills game, which outside of the Minneapolis Miracle is probably maybe the best football game Viking memory I have. Third most after the original Minneapolis Miracle with the 49ers. But it was so fun. So if you had a moment like that last year or recently, drop it in the comments section. Give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. Each subscriber goes a long way, as we say.
Jack, what's the most fun you've had watching a football game? Paul gave his.
Believe it or not, Ziggy, it was the half a second where Jesse James's ball was ruled a touchdown. So I went from the best football moment of my life to the worst in a matter of minutes. The best moment was when he caught the ball and it was a touchdown. Believe it or not.
And the worst is when it wasn't.
And the worst is when they overturned it. Yep.
That's funny because normally it's the other way. Like with the Vikings Saints Minneapolis Miracle, one of the worst football moments turns into the best in a few seconds.
Yeah.
You had it the opposite. Very few people have that.
You heard I took a video. You heard my audio in the background.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my mind.
You sounded like a man possessed.
Yeah.
Ziggy, what was it for you before we start off here?
For me, it's close. If I had to pick a single moment, this is college, I admit, but when Avery Davis caught that 90-yard catch against Clemson, it wasn't that long. I know 90. It wasn't, but in my memory, it was the whole field.
That was
if I had
amazing.
to pick a game, though, that Rams-Chiefs game, 2018, that was when I was first a Rams fan. I was starting to get into football. And it was like Jared Goff v. Mahomes. It was 51-48. It was right after the fires had burned through Thousand Oaks. It's like, this is what football could be. Now, football basically hasn't ever been that since. But that's what football can
I was
be.
up 90
Oh, you
points.
lost your fantasy game.
I was up
that day.
90
Yeah.
points going into that Monday Night Football
Gurley,
game.
Mahomes, and
playing against Gurley, Mahomes,
Hill.
and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, it's wild.
And I didn't just lose. I got murdered. I lost by like 30.
I had Jared
was
Goff
horrible.
that night. I had Jared Goff that night too.
I didn't think you said Jared Goff at first.
Well, maybe I did that too after I won. But
Let me ask you real quick, Zach. Since we did it, would you say yours was what do you have, like the Miami Miracle? I don't know how many great Dolphins moments there have been over the
oh
past.
yeah, Miami Miracle has to be one of the
amazing.
greatest moments
Yeah.
ever.
That's one of mine too, because that was like third to last week of the season, and that put us for the time being as the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I called Zach. I'm like, let's go. And then we lost to Oakland, who was like 2-14.
That was huge too, wasn't it? That was like, if the Pats won, they got home field advantage, but them losing,
yeah,
I don't
lost
remember.
them the
No,
home
because
field
we
advantage.
slotted up to number 1 at that time when the Pats lost. But then
even you guys losing, they still didn't get home field advantage. Somebody else got home field
like
advantage.
Kansas City or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's funny
And they
how we're
ended up
like,
losing.
it's funny how we're like, let's try and keep this a tight show. And we have our longest intro of any division show. That's just kind of how it works.
Well,
for
let's
us.
make it a little
Let's get
longer.
it going. Let's get it going.
Ziggy, just move to your left a little bit. Somehow, again,
Oh, the on-air
drifter.
producing from
I haven't
Zach.
moved at all.
I somehow you did.
Maybe Zach's moving. Zach.
Zach texted Ziggy on air. Ziggy, move to your left a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't listen.
All right,
He doesn't listen.
let's get into the AFC North. We're going through each team, little breakdown, and then we'll share our predictions for the division. We'll wrap the show. Zach might have a couple trivia questions for us. Who wore it first? None of us have seen any of the players he's talking about, so we have no idea what's coming. And then we'll end. We had a request to bring back the drafts, which are so much fun. So we'll do a month's draft. What's the best month? This could really go all over the place. I think there's some objective categories in these drafts. I mean, it's never objective, but this one's really subjective, the months. I have no idea what we could see there. But we'll start with the Cincinnati Bengals. My big question for them is, will they take the final step? And that final step would be to become the best team in the NFL. And they're very close. They're knocking on the door. They've been there for a couple seasons. So the question is, how do they get there? And the biggest issue in Cincinnati for the past few years has been the offensive line. Remember 2021, all the issues Joe Burrow had in his second season. Despite that, they get to the Super Bowl, pressured 26 times, sacked 7, they lose to the Rams. They thought they addressed that coming into the 2022 season. They had 4 new starters on the line. And again, it was subpar. Injuries played a big role in that. 5 guys were on injured reserve by the end of the season. 3 of them were starters. But they still found a way to beat the Bills, and they still wound up back in the AFC Championship game. It's just a testament to how good Joe Burrow is. I mean, he gets the ball out faster than almost every quarterback in the league, and he does so extremely efficiently. But this year, they go and they make a big move. They sign Orlando Brown Jr. away from the Chiefs. He's going to be taking over at left tackle. And this should be the best offensive line now that Joe Burrow has ever had. Last year, he was sacked the 6th most times in the league, 29th rushing yards for the Bengals. It was just a disaster again. I think right now we're looking at the most talented offense the Bengals have had with Burrow.
Paul, my guy. These boys won't even win their own division. Now, in all seriousness, I think when it comes to taking the big leap forward and winning a Super Bowl, well, I guess they got there, but it's the number 1 seed to me in the AFC. Because they've gone on the road before, I know that. But the 1 win at Kansas City, I mean,
Crazy
one can say they were lucky to win that game because nobody really comes back. What was it, 28-7 at the half?
21, maybe 7.
But like it should
They
have
were
been.
down big.
The Chiefs were driving in the
Yes.
final seconds, could have been over. And then they wouldn't have played in that Super Bowl had they didn't come back and win that game, which they'd probably come back and win that game 1 out of every 9, 10 times they play in Arrowhead. Then they win in Buffalo, but then lose in Arrowhead. I think it's tough to try to bank on being road warriors against teams like Buffalo and the Chiefs and how good these AFC teams are now. To really take that step and to become a Super Bowl favorite in my eyes, you have to go in to the AFC playoffs with home field advantage, AFC playoffs going through Cincinnati.
Yeah. And we've seen them, too, be successful at home. They've beaten the Chiefs a couple times big in Cincinnati.
But if next year, right, like if it's Chiefs at Bengals or Bills at Bengals or Jets at Bengals, AFC chip,
Bengals are favored.
I'm very, very confident since he wins that game. Whether they go on the road, though, I'm picking against them.
Yeah. Ziggy, what do you think of that?
I think there's a lot to like about this Bengals team, but I do think you have to wonder what they've done to get better. So I get that they added Orlando Brown Jr. And like in one sense, that's a big addition. But on the other hand, there's a reason he's been bouncing around teams and why the Chiefs didn't really want to keep him around. He just hasn't been an elite pass blocking tackle, right? He's good in the run game. He's fine in pass blocking. Though, of course, blocking for Patrick Mahomes makes you look a lot better based on how Mahomes is able to play. But so while I think he's a good addition, I mean, obviously that'll help. The thing I'm worried about with the Bengals is the defense, right? They lost some really important players on the defense leaving this year, right? They lost their pair of safeties. You know, it's not outside of that. It's not like the defense was especially impressive to begin with. They had some big time play moments, but it wasn't a defense that was consistently performing well. And the fact is, in the AFC, I get that you've got to have a great offense, but a defense that can get that one or two stops, a defense that can intercept Patrick Mahomes when it counts, which the Bengals used to have, I'm not sure they've got it anymore. So this makes me a little bit worried about whether the team's going to be better this year than last year.
They definitely lost a couple. Like Jesse Bates was a huge loss. They also lost Von Bell. Eli Apple goes away, although Eli Apple has almost become a meme at this point.
Yeah.
I do
think Eli Apple
he's pretty good.
He's
though.
solid. Yeah, he's a solid cornerback. They get back Awuzie, who their number one cornerback, who missed. I believe he left in week 8 last season with an ACL tear. So that's a big addition. I think they're fine as long as they have Lou Anarumo, their defensive coordinator, who's just one of the best coordinators in football. It's almost stunning that he doesn't have a head coaching job at this point. Think about what they did last year going into Buffalo, shutting down Josh Allen and the Bills team. We've seen this defense step up time and time again in the playoffs when it matters most under his leadership. And towards the end of the year, they tend to get better and better. I think they'll be okay. And then you have to remember the D-line too. They go and they get Miles Murphy out of Clemson. That guy, a little raw, but if he can pull things together, I know, Ziggy, we talked about that Avery Davis game in the beginning. We saw Miles Murphy as a freshman. I mean, that dude is massive. he could be really, really good. They added to that secondary in the second and third round of the draft. So they addressed the weak spots on their roster. And I feel like that's all you can ask for as a Bengals fan. Weak offensive line, go get Orlando Brown. Lose some guys in the secondary, you draft it, you bring in a few free agents, and then they address the defensive line as well. So I think they should be okay. But again, it all comes down to Joe Burrow with this team.
Yeah, as long as this team ultimately has a healthy Joe Burrow and a healthy Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon and you gotta remember
Chase missed most of last year as well.
Yeah, and a defense that's good enough, which they should be. Mm-hmm. They're coming into the season as a top 3 team in the AFC. And again, I think that if they have the number 1 seed, they're my pick to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. All right. There you go. It's crazy. The AFC North teams are all so good. I'm just going through each one here. So we have the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, it's
next.
a tough division.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's a tough division for them.
We have Baltimore. I think they're the best in football. We talk about the AFC East a lot, but just from going through, I'm sorry, Zach. I'm sorry. I love the Dolphins. I love the Jets. The Bills are really good. I just think that there's 4 good teams in the AFC North, and the Pats. Oh, wow, it is close because New England's not as bad as I said.
I don't think the Browns are that good. I give it to the AFC. I think the Pats are better than the Browns.
We'll talk about
We'll get to the Browns. The Ravens are next. Will the Ravens break into the AFC's big 3? When we talk about the big 3, of course, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals. It seems like they've sort of separated themselves. Then you have teams
making it a big 4.
Oh, yeah, to make it
because they're not dethroning.
Yeah, they're not going to dethrone. But can they get into a big 4 situation? Because there's a couple teams vying for that. The Jaguars we've talked about. The Chargers are there. The Dolphins, Zach, and the Jets. Who's that next team out of that big 3? And I think it could very well be the Ravens. They had a great offseason, and of course it all started with the contract dispute for Lamar Jackson. That ends with him becoming the richest player or making the biggest deal in the history of the sport. And there are Ravens fans who are a little hesitant to give Lamar that much money. But I'm telling you, I've seen bad football when you don't have a quarterback before. And it is tough to watch. They'll be thankful by week 5 next year that they have Lamar Jackson. And outside of this young defensive line here, the team is loaded from top to bottom. It is a really, really good roster. One thing, though, that they finally did is add a little receiver depth. We've seen since 2019, Baltimore had invested the fewest cap dollars on offense and the second fewest on receivers. And what did that turn into? The fewest receiving yards by wide receivers in 3 of the past 4 seasons for the Ravens. So this year they go get Odell. They get your guy, Zay Flowers. They also bring in Nelson Aguilar, which is a pretty solid addition, especially to that receiving corp. So I like what I've been seeing so far from Baltimore this offseason. Again, another AFC North team doing a good job. You finally give Lamar some weapons in addition to Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins, and Rashad Bateman. I think this Ravens team, I'm going to say that, yes, they can actually make this a big four in the AFC. What do you guys think?
I think that non-biasly, I'll get to this in a second, the Steelers are better than the Ravens.
Really?
Yeah. But Baltimore, and I can't stress this enough, I think Pittsburgh's defense is better overall, but Baltimore's defense is good. And I can't stress enough the fact that bringing in receivers, weapons for Lamar to throw the ball to alongside Mark Andrews is huge. Because Lamar's gotten criticism for years, and including myself, about not being a good passer. I don't think he really is.
Oh, I think he is.
I think he has to take a bit of a leap to become a top 4 team in the AFC. I don't think he's a great passer. I think he's a very good runner, good athlete. I don't think he's a great passer. Not like Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, or any of those guys.
But could you see this as, I don't know, man. I think Lamar's a very good passer, but you look at some guys.
I don't think Lamar's a great passer.
But if you look at guys like, we could throw out Tua. When you gave him those weapons, when Tyreek Hill joined, he exploded as a passer. So you're saying that could be
that's what I'm saying.
At least in the public eye.
He has Odell. Now he has Zay. He has 3 decent receivers alongside Mark Andrews, which is going to help. Because I've seen on several occasions where Lamar's rolling out of the pocket and throws some wobbly duck to nobody. And that might not be the case with some decent receivers now alongside one of the best tight ends in football.
Ziggy, what do you think of that statement from Jack there?
Well, I think I agree that Lamar's not a great passer. People focus a lot on the efficiency stats, but the nice thing about Lamar Jackson is he doesn't need to be a great passer to put up strong passing numbers, right? His rushing threat just forces defenses to play completely differently.
Oh, yeah.
So for a guy who's worse of a passer, yeah, he can make it work. And I think, there weren't a lot of new faces in Baltimore, right? Like the only real players I think they added in free agency, you said Aguilar and Odell, and then there's Rocky Sin. And then, they drafted Zay Flowers, but there's not a lot else there. But the biggest addition, I think, and the guy that Ravens fans need to be the most excited about, without question, is Todd Monken. We saw the ceiling of the Greg Roman offense, and it was good, right? You run the pistol on 90% of your plays, power run, get a few yards every play, put up some numbers, but it just wasn't a modern NFL offense. You bring in Monken, we saw what he could do in Georgia. You bring Lamar some new receivers, I think you could see an explosive offense, and the defense will be fine. I'm not worried at all about the defense.
Defense came on really strong at the end of last season, and they should be just fine, as we said. The defensive line is the one concern. I know they have what's his name from Michigan, David Ojabo, who's coming back. So they drafted him in the second round. Remember, that's a first round talent basically entering the roster this year. They took him in the second round of 2022 after he tore his Achilles at his Michigan Pro Day. So he could come in and maybe be an impact player. Linebackers, you're set there with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. Yeah. And the secondary is very good with Humphreys and Kyle Hamilton and all those guys. So the defense should be good. Sorry, Ziggy,
they lost a couple contributors right on the offensive. Or it's like an outside linebacker. They lost Justin Houston. They lost Marcus Peters. But
they should. I
fully expect the rookies to be able to step up. Like Odafe Owe and Ojabo. Well, they'll do just fine. I'm not worried at all.
When I look at this Ravens team right now, Lamar Jackson in his career wins about 70%, over 70% of his regular season games. It really shouldn't be a problem for them to get to the playoffs this year. I don't anticipate it. It's not that tough of a schedule. It might be tough to win the division. As we said, the teams are really good in it this year. But getting to the playoffs, has to be the number one. Like that must be checked off this year in Baltimore. Once they get there, though, we've talked about this in the past. Lamar's 1-3 in the postseason. The difference in his numbers is really staggering from regular season to playoffs. 15 points per game less, 28.4 points lower in his passer rating. It's just like Lamar drops off the face of the earth when they get to the playoffs, and it's kind of weird to me.
Well, that's the thing with him is he's reached the playoffs, and now these good coaches, they prepare. You know how to play them. We saw it with Tennessee. Tennessee put 9 guys in the box, didn't let him run. He couldn't throw.
Yeah, so hopefully now with those guys.
That's what I'm hoping that his weapons can do for him. But again, going back to that, I think if you just stop him from using his legs, which is hard, but who does a good job of that is the Steelers, which I've seen. And if you stop that, I do not think that he can win a game with his arm at all.
So so for Lamar Jackson, for you, you're saying go out in the playoffs now. You're going to have to win it with your arm.
He has to win it with his arm. He cannot win it running around, scrambling, doing all this nonsense. Yeah.
All right. Ziggy, some final thoughts on the Ravens?
I think that this is decidedly tier 2 team, not just in like the AFC, but in the NFL in general. But if Monken can come in and reform the passing offense, the defense can just play up to expectations. They're a dark horse team.
Dark horse Super Bowl winner?
Yeah. Why not? Like, well, we know Lamar Jackson's an elite talent. I feel like he hasn't gotten a fair shake up to this point for lots of reasons, some of which are on him.
Yeah,
this year should be different.
Some of it's just unlucky too. He's ended the last 2 years hurt. So
for Ravens fans, if this year is not different, they should start to worry.
Yes. No, this is a season now. I feel like that's the way for a lot of NFL teams we've talked about so far. It's a lot of pressure now in this season. The Bears, we said last episode. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I have some numbers for you guys. Genuinely insane numbers. Okay, we talk a lot about how great TJ Watt is, and that maybe he's just the most valuable player in football, like overall. I know Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, all these quarterbacks, you have to put them in the conversation. But TJ Watt's impact, I really listen to this. With Watt last year, we've said this a couple times, 7-2, 17.2 points per game, 286 yards, 25 sacks, 16 takeaways. Without Watt, 1-6 record. 25.3 points per game. That's 8 more. 389 yards. That's 100 yards more per game. 8 sacks and 5 takeaways. So if you measured this out, the sacks and the takeaways over a 16-game schedule, and then also compare the points per game and yards per game, here's the difference in the Steelers' ranks in the NFL. Second in points to 30th in points. First in yards allowed to 31st in yards allowed. They'd be the only team under 200 with TJ Watt. 7th in sacks versus 32nd in sacks. Tied second in takeaways to 32nd in takeaways. I was blown away.
He's the best player in football.
I saw someone. I was reading a Reddit thread where I saw those numbers too, and the first comment just said, "This is fucking insane."
He's the best player in football.
It's the TJ Watt all time 59, 26 and 2 with Watt, 1-10 without him in Pittsburgh. I don't understand how one defensive end makes that big of a it's genuinely mind-boggling.
It really is
out there. I got made fun of for saying if he's not on the field, they're just irrelevant.
It's crazy.
I totally agreed with you. I just thought it was like he's fully healthy now. It's like
he got mad that you were assuming he might be.
No, I just thought it was dumb. You stated the obvious. It's like saying, if the Bills don't have Josh Allen, they're going to not be as good. Like, yeah, of course.
But can someone can someone explain to me?
It's just a defensive. Like I was getting with it's a defensive player. Like it shouldn't make that big of a
you can make a big difference. Like when you lose a top 5 defender in football.
He is just that good.
I don't know. There seems to be something wrong with that. That's just genuinely.
Did you see the post today? Did you see the post today? Him and JJ were helping each other practice today.
Oh, look, I'm fine with that.
TJ Watt,
best against best,
is that good. And I've said it for a long time. He is the Patrick Mahomes of the Steelers. He's the Josh Allen of the Steelers. He's the Jalen Hurts of the Steelers.
Their defense goes from first or second in 3 categories to literally last. And it's crazy. Sorry, Ziggy, you were saying?
I was going to say, if TJ Watt is the Patrick Mahomes of your team, you're screwed. Straight up.
Well, yeah, we were, of course.
No. What happens he's saying you don't want your defensive end to have to be the Patrick Mahomes of your team.
Because look, I get that the on-off splits for TJ Watt are very good, but it's difficult. The reason the Steelers have been able to generate so much success up to this point is because when you're headlining with TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, you're always able to raise the floor and get 8, 9, 10 wins out of that. The problem is, if you really want to do something in the NFL, you need ceiling raisers. And the ceiling raising can't come from any position other than quarterback. So how the Steelers do this year in terms of more than just continuing Tomlin's winning record streak is going to depend almost entirely on how Kenny Pickett plays.
Well, I agree with you. But also, you look at this team last year was 2-6. Pickett didn't get his first snaps until week 4. And then his first start, I believe, could be wrong, was in. For 2 of his first starts were in. He didn't start that game.
That's when he came in.
In Philly and in Buffalo, I believe, were 2 of his first starts.
I think I have it right here. They started 1-4 in his first 5 games.
Yes.
If you include the Jets, then it was at Buffalo, at Miami, at Philly,
yes.
and then versus Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we won that game.
Yes, you beat Tampa Bay.
He comes in as a rookie quarterback, a kid who hasn't really taken any snaps, and he's on the road at Buffalo, on the road at Philly, on the road at Miami.
Tampa Bay's Jets are great defenses too.
Which is brutal. And still found a way to play a meaningful Week 17 game with a chance to go to the postseason. And keep in mind, TJ Watt, as we said, was hurt for what? 7 weeks?
Yep.
So I think
1-6 without him.
Kenny Pickett, he's a good passer and a good quarterback. I think he takes a leap. There's no reason to see why not. The offensive line's a little bit better. We have some more weapons. The defense is great. Watt's healthy. There is no reason to believe that this team can't make some serious noise.
Well, you also started... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ziggy. You could respond.
I was going to say, Pickett's going to need to improve because around him, they didn't do a whole lot, right? They got Isaac Seumalo from the Eagles to play. Does he play left guard or right
left guard?
I can't remember.
That's a great addition, but yeah.
Yeah, but he'll stabilize.
The offensive line is better than it was last year.
Oh, yeah, it is, but it's not a lot better. I mean, Broderick Jones, you're going to be starting a rookie at left tackle probably day one with... Like that'll be fine, I think. But then receiver, I mean, you added Allen Robinson, who didn't do a whole lot with the Rams. Otherwise, same offensive coordinator, same quarterback, similar offensive line, similar receivers. You need development from Kenny Pickett, right?
Yeah,
it's not like some of these other teams
but
where making changes around him is doing it.
You also look at the schedules, right, of last year versus this year. Like what Pickett was able to do last year was pretty decent against what was a tough schedule, tough defenses all around. Now you really got nobody. Like, this is an easy schedule.
To me, it's the end of their schedule. I think when I go through and have them like game by game for the Steelers, I think I had them 10-4 and then losing the final 3. It's a tough end to the season.
Well, I think this could be an 11-12 team for sure.
Oh, it could. Like, yes, it could.
I think there's talent. I think they're good. I think, again, yeah, of course, it all falls onto the shoulders of Pickett.
Yeah, and Ziggy, I kind of disagree with your statement that the Steelers didn't do a lot around him. I think Seumalo and Broderick Jones, if Broderick Jones is good,
I don't think the
left side of that O-line is much improved.
Much better.
But then you're right. Receiver, Allen Robinson, is there really anything left in the tank? You're kind of hoping George Pickens takes a step up again. But I do think, that offensive line improvement could help a lot.
But I also like the addition. Like, you have more blocking. And another big tight end with Darnell Washington in the third round.
That was another great pick.
Yeah.
But we saw it all sort of come together for the Steelers when they kind of took a little bit off Kenny's plate and started running the ball better towards the end of the season. They were 7-2 in the final 9 games and ran for over 100 yards in 9 of the final 10. So they just weren't scoring. They were running the ball well, but they genuinely weren't putting up points too much, or generally weren't putting up points that well. I do think, though, when you combined Pickett getting more comfortable with TJ Watt coming back, that's when you saw the 7-2 record to end the year, 6-1. He had 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, couple game-winning drives. Ended the year with the 8th best QBR. All these great stats. But you're right, Ziggy. When you said at the very beginning of this segment, TJ Watt's essential for the Steelers to be a competitive team. Kenny Pickett is essential for them becoming a contender. Yeah. And that's what you have to circle if you're a Steeler fan. Say, will we see him take a jump forward, and will they kind of let the reins off him a little bit as a passer? Because I just don't think you can win games. Like, the Steelers can win games running the ball like they did last year, but you're not going to compete with the Bills and the Chiefs. And you've done it with the Bengals, but late in the year Bengals, he's going to need to make some big throws.
Like, if the offense isn't there.
It can't just be, hoping Najee has a good game and Kenny doesn't make mistakes.
I think there's no reason to believe that Pickett won't have
I think I'll have a good year as well. Yeah.
Before we move on, there was a very funny comment.
I saw you start laughing.
And it's not a dig at Jack, but someone just commented he was talking bad about Kenny Pickett, and then he called him Kenny Pick 6. I thought that was
Kenny Pick 6 was a great. I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, and as Paul likes to say, I audibly laughed out loud at that.
I don't think did he throw 1 pick 6 last year?
Have you heard Kenny Pick 6 before?
No.
I thought it was great.
That was funny. I don't think he threw 1 pick 6 last year, did he?
I don't think
he did.
Oh, he did?
Mark Robinson caught one.
Okay.
Robinson. Who's Mark Robinson?
Mark Robinson, he's a linebacker from out of Ole Miss. I can't even remember who he plays
Mark Robinson is on the...
In practice. That was the only pick 6 I knew that Kenny Pickett threw last
year. Wait, Mark Robinson's on the Steelers. Actually, their whole linebacking core changed? Did you know that? All 3?
Steelers?
Yeah, all 3 are different now. So Devin Bush, Miles Jack, Robert Spillane are gone.
I liked Spillane.
In comes Cole Holcomb from Washington, Landon Roberts, the
That's our
Dolphins.
boy.
Great blitzer, apparently. Great getting pressure on the quarterback.
I wouldn't say he's a great blitzer. I think he's really good when it's a run play. He's gone through the middle.
No, he's great. He's
That's
great
what I like
working
that.
around the line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
but apparently not so much.
No,
in
he can't
coverage.
cover for anything.
Yeah. And then Tanner Muse as well from Seattle are all coming in.
The one thing about the was he the Clemson guy? I think he's Clemson. The one thing about the Steelers is, and I hope this is where JPJ fills the role we need him to fill, and is who we want him to be, is the secondary is weak. And those numbers you brought up before with TJ Watt is simply because of this. With Watt, this becomes one of the best front sevens and pass rushes in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When there's pressure on the quarterback, when Watt's there, it's very effective, and obviously it's hard. Without Watt, there's zero pressure, and this was a bad secondary.
Yeah.
So without him, no pressure. These quarterbacks are standing back and cooking our corners, which is why I'm hoping that JPJ can take that, who we want him to be.
Yeah, you lost Cam Sutton. We talked about him
like Cam
going to
Sutton.
Detroit, and Terrell Edmonds goes to Philly.
Edmonds was terrible.
But you brought in Joey Porter Jr., Patrick Peterson, who, again, I don't think he was great last year, but statistically and PFF grades, all that stuff was awesome for the Vikings, and Keanu Neal as well. So you did address that issue.
It was a big issue.
So we'll see. Yeah, if the secondary's good, I mean, you already have Minka back there.
Oh,
That defense. If the secondary's good, the Steelers' defense will be top three.
Secondary is good. Watt's healthy.
Yeah, Minka's garbage to me.
What's Austin Jackson up to?
What?
Austin Jackson, what's he up to?
He's still a right tackle.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
All right, good. Yeah.
Okay, now
Wait, what are you talking about? He's still a right tackle. Actually, he was hurt last year.
Was he? Oh, sorry.
the Cleveland
Wasn't
Browns.
Minka hurt last year,
The Cleveland Browns. Minka, was he hurt?
Minka, what? Was he?
I'm trying to. I can't
Minka's
remember.
like the best safety in the league.
I don't know. So Javon Holland beats him out any day of the week. But back to what you were saying. Go ahead.
Who's that?
Javon Holland,
Harrison Smith is still again
the safety
old,
for the
but
Dolphins, who's
Oh,
incredible.
wise. All right, Cleveland Browns. Will Deshaun
This team-
Watson?
Can we just skip this team?
Will
Can we
Deshaun
just skip
Watson?
this team?
No, I think they're good.
This team-
I think they're good. I think they could be really.
Ziggy,
good.
what do you think? What do you think, Ziggy?
Ziggy's high in the Browns.
I'm extremely high. No one is treating the Browns like a team that has a player that is a proven top 5 quarterback.
Oh, because they stink.
All right, here's what we got. The question on the Browns is, will Deshaun Watson return to form? Sounds like Ziggy thinks yes, but we'll get there in a second. On paper, the team is really, really good.
Heard that one before.
They are. On paper, they're a very good team.
I'm sure.
Some big acquisitions on the defensive line. They get Jim Schwartz now calling the plays.
Odell and Chubb. No, it was bored.
Don't forget about Landry, Odell, Landry, Chubb.
Oh, this team's great.
And we can't forget about Ziggy's big
Hey,
guy.
look.
Ziggy, who's your guy?
Hey,
Let him
look,
know.
look,
Who
look.
is it? Who's the guy?
Well, David and Joke is
There it is.
Look, 2022, a lot went wrong for Cleveland.
These guys stink.
You got to be fair to them.
These guys stink.
Defense was
Look.
hurt. Watson didn't play for what? 11 weeks, 12 weeks. He didn't come until week 13.
He didn't go to practice till week 11 anyway.
Yeah,
either.
we can't judge anything he did last season. It's all a wash to me right now. Like are the weapons. So anyway, going into this year, I agree with Ziggy that maybe not that he'll be a top 5 quarterback, but Deshaun Watson, the only way the Browns are a contender at all is if he returns to top 10 quarterback form. And I mean, he has what, a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed deal. So for Cleveland fans, he better play like a top 10 quarterback in the league. His numbers just weren't good last year. And the one concerning thing was week to week, you didn't really see it get better. But I'm fine to watch that because he didn't play for 2 full freaking seasons. So now he has a full off season. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Elijah Moore coming in is going to make a big difference to the receiving group.
But having Elijah Moore and Marquise Goodwin will open new looks for him.
Yeah, you got Goodwin, Moore, Amari Cooper is still very good. Nick Chubb.
Marquise Goodwin, the guy who hasn't played
They're fine.
on a real
No,
team
they're like fine
in like 3 years.
Elijah Moore's a fine third receiver. Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones is fine. Nick Chubb's one of the best running backs in football, and Njoku played well. The offensive line, beasts. And the defense should be a lot better because they were all hurt last season. I look at the Browns. I don't see why Deshaun Watson won't go back to top 5 form, top 10 form. I think when he played in Houston, very, very good. We finally get a full offseason. He's only 28 years old right now, I think. I am a big believer. I'm not huge on Kevin Stefanski. I never was. In Minnesota, I don't see what people saw in him. We just didn't have a good offense. And he went to Cleveland, had one good year, and since then they've kind of slowly been trickling downhill. With Deshaun Watson, though, I think a lot of it will come down to the mental game, too. you got to wonder what it was like last year. Every stadium he went into,
I think he's done.
he was the most hated guy, and probably will be this year again, but the noise won't be as loud. And really, even this offseason, we could tell the noise isn't that loud on him. Where is he at mentally? Those are all questions I have about Watson. Why are you so high on him, Ziggy?
Before Deshaun Watson played a snap last year, he had the highest career quarterback rating of any player in NFL history. There are very few guys in the NFL that have demonstrated that for an extended period of time, they can play like a top 5 quarterback. And whatever becomes of him this year, no one can say for sure, but he has done that. Right? Deshaun Watson has proved that he can play like a top 5 quarterback over the course of 3 seasons. If he can recapture that form, you're talking about a team that's got one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, a team that's got fine weapons around him with an elite offensive line, a team that's got no clear weaknesses on defense ever since they added Dalvin Tomlinson. Right? There's a lot to like about this team.
Smith too, yeah.
Yeah, they reformed a lot of the staff, right? They got rid of a couple offensive guys. They got a brand new defensive coordinator to replace Jim Schwartz, or to replace Joe Woods, excuse me. Like, there's a lot to be excited for about this team. So I think Deshaun Watson, it makes sense that he was rusty. Stefanski, like, built an entire offense for Jacoby Brissett and then tried to force Deshaun Watson into it. Give him an offseason, it's going to look a lot better than 3-3.
Is he selling you?
Brissett didn't deal with this scandal. Watson's finished. This ruined his career. He's done.
You don't. To be fair, you don't see a lot of guys come back from 2 years away.
No, you don't. Every single game, also now he puts on the Browns uniform, teams are out to hit him.
Although Mike Vick, he was gone for 2 years, right?
I don't think Watson's Mike Vick.
What do you mean teams are out to hit him? None of these guys in the NFL care about this. All his teammates were partying when he came to Cleveland. No one cares. Well, they should, but they don't.
Well, they should care about it, yeah, but
the dude is a weirdo.
I'm sure some Browns players do.
I think now this whole scandal, being out of the NFL for 2 years, we saw the rust last year, and the rust is there. Nothing's changing, and I'm done talking about the Browns. I've talked for the
Black Cloud.
I've talked about the Browns for the last 4 or 5 years. When it was like, oh, like this is the new team in the AFC North, and like your Steelers, like Big Ben's going downhill, they stink, and we're still better than them. So I'm done with this game. I think when you put on that uniform, just things go to hell. So I am totally finished talking about the Browns. They'll be 6-11, last place. Watson's going to stink, and that'll be that. And we'll come back to this clip when it happens.
Yeah, no, we will. My gut tells me that Watson's in trouble.
It's over. It's over. You don't sit out for 2 years, come back, stink, and then expect it to not stink.
But I think the pieces are there for him to rebound well. I actually do. I'm like, my prediction is, along with Ziggy, that he'll be one of the better quarterbacks in football again.
I think that he is the 4th best quarterback in the AFC North.
That's absurd.
I think I'd rather have Pickett, Lamar, and Joe Burrow.
Apparently he's lighting it up, or he was lighting it up in minicamp. Just
so is everybody.
Who was lighting it up?
Deshaun Watson had arguably, I saw a quote, 3 best practices as a Brown in minicamp.
So he's only had 3 practices.
He's looking good. He's looking good. All right, Ziggy, any closing thoughts on the Browns?
Before
rebuttal?
Ziggy puts his closing thoughts, so people could see him on the screen. If you can move to the left a little bit, that'd be wonderful.
Thanks, Ziggy.
Thank you.
All I was gonna say was, we good, Zach?
Yeah, we're good now.
All I was gonna say was, the Deshaun Watson move is going to look one of 2 ways for Cleveland. It'll either look like one of the biggest busts in NFL history, maybe the biggest. Like the thing that just completely took all the momentum out of the like building success, or else a gamble that paid off big. I think next year we're going to find out which one it was. Honestly, by week 8, we'll know which one it was.
I agree with you. And that's kind of similar to what we were saying about the Bears. You'll probably know.
The Bears are better than the Browns.
By midseason. You'll probably know by midseason whether or not Justin Fields is going to be that guy going forward, or at least what you can expect to see in 2024 over the course of the 2023 season. Browns fans, $230 million fully guaranteed. That's a lot of money.
I cannot wait until they're 1-7, and this dude's being tossed on his ass week after week.
Browns or Packers? Who's worse?
The Browns are worse than the Packers.
I hope that's what happens, Jack. I just don't see it.
Oh, Ziggy's not a Deshaun Watson fan. He's just a Deshaun Watson.
Like he
Appreciator?
Appreciator.
I was going to say believer, but but that sounds
I see him
bad.
play football. He looks pretty good. That's what I'll say.
I think Hopkins looks
Okay, let's wrap up the AFC North talk. We'll do non-quarterback player to watch, the division MVP, and then our predictions for the final standings. I'll start it off here with a non-quarterback player to watch. I've got my eyes on Odell Beckham this season. I think he's the key piece to the Ravens offense, taking another step forward. We said earlier in the Ravens segment, it's been the receivers that have been a big issue for them, a weak point in their offense. Lamar's such a great runner. J.K. Dobbins, when healthy, is great. Offensive line, really, really good. It's just, and Mark Andrews as well, arguably top 3 tight end in the league. It's just the receiving room has been, they've lacked depth, really. They really even haven't had a star. So can he come back? He's not going to be the old Odell, but can he be close to that? Can he be the Odell we saw for the Rams playoff run? And if you combine him with Zay Flowers, who a speedster, like all of a sudden now you're looking at a fun Ravens offense, people flying around, the ball's whipping through the air for Lamar. I think it starts and ends with Odell, though, and that's who I'm paying attention to. How about you, Jack?
I am paying attention to a player that I previously brought up in the Steelers segment, Joey Porter Jr.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Did you lay minus 1,000 with me picking a Steeler?
I did. I actually
minus 1,000.
I put 10,000. I put 10,000 on it. I knew how big it was, so I put 10,000.
It was minus 10,000.
You have some insider information.
Yeah.
I'm going with Joey Porter Jr. for the reasons I said before. Last year, this secondary was weak. There were several games where it was exploited, especially when Watt was out. And it's been like this last few years. If we had failed to put pressure on the quarterback, give him some time to throw, our secondary was getting carved. And now here's JPJ, early second round. We want him to be probably a top 2 corner.
Probably the
number 1.
Yeah.
This upcoming year, I want to see if he can play that role well and be that number 1 corner.
Like that. Yep, and I agree. I think it's the number 1 spot you want for him by the end. That's the hope by the end.
The hope is him to be number 1, clear cut.
Who's the other guy? You have
Levi
Wallace.
We bought over.
You have Wallace and Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you want him to be the one.
Yeah.
Ziggy, how about you? Who do you have your eyes on in 2023?
This might just be like fantasy derangement syndrome speaking.
Oh boy.
But this year, I really believe David Njoku is going to take a step forward. There are a lot of targets to have in this Cleveland Browns offense. Now, Donovan Peoples-Jones, another exciting player, right? High recruit, didn't get a chance to do much in that putrid Michigan offense, came to Cleveland, didn't get a chance to do much in the putrid Cleveland offense. This year might be different for him. But David Njoku is an athletic beast. I don't want to see him go the way of O.J. Howard. And I really think this year, with old Deshaun Watson throwing some balls to him.
Old Deshaun back there.
Ziggy, I wore this shirt for you today, making this Njoku pick.
Njoku was good last year. He had a solid
he was like 6th in the NFL at tight end in yards per game. He was like 8th in overall yards. He was okay last year.
How long has Njoku been in the league?
A few years. I mean, how many years has he had competent quarterback?
I think he's going on
play,
year
Jack?
6 or 7. I'm pretty sure you're going on year 6 or 7, right?
No, he was in the 2017 draft.
He was
in the 2017 draft.
I mean, that would be...
That's year 7.
That puts him at 6 years.
Wow.
I mean...
Look, he missed 2019 due to injury. He missed 2018, 2020, 2021 to having Baker Mayfield. He missed 2022 to having Jacoby Brissett. This is really his rookie season.
Ziggy, I wore this for you.
So they have a brand new David Njoku.
Look, are you telling me that
This guy's
playing
a
with
rookie.
Baker Mayfield as your quarterback wouldn't
What do you
just
mean?
ruin
Baker
your
was
life?
good that year. They went to the divisional round.
1 year of
beat the
competent
Steelers.
Baker Mayfield, and he
Wait,
set
wait.
his career high in yards.
I'm sorry. Was he injured all those years, or were you saying he was out because
In 2019, he was
Was he
injured.
just
In
benched?
2018, 2020, 2021, he was out due to Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay.
Still.
That's amazing. I thought last year though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he having some breakout performances? It was
and then he got hurt. But this year it's different.
This year's different.
Okay.
Look,
That's what I say about Vatek. That's what I say about Vatek football every year. It's different.
when
this year.
we pick player to watch, we're not picking who we think is going to be the best player in the division. It's who we're excited to watch.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're
I
excited to
really
watch.
think you are going to get a top 5 tight end season from David
Okay,
and Joe.
there you go. There's the take. All right.
Top
All right.
5.
That's look.
That's incredible if he makes it to top 5. Ziggy,
He was number 6 last year.
If Njoku and Deshaun Watson are both top 5, the Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
They'll be 8 and 9. 8 and 9.
If they're both look,
Eight and
here's
nine.
what I
top
want at
five,
the
what
end of the
What was he
season:
top 6 in?
yards per game.
Suck it, man.
Wow.
What was Travis Kelce? Wasn't there a big leap?
I mean, you can't count
I mean,
Kelsey.
Probably.
Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey is like the best receiving tight end in the history.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, my man's making Njoku sound like he's about to be the next Travis
No, you
Kelce.
said top 5.
He's a top 5.
Top 5.
that's not. Look, here's what I'll say: at the end of the season, I want this Deshaun Watson, David Njoku stuff run back. I will either look like a genius or a fool. I'm okay with either outcome. I just want it to be known.
I mean,
I'm
you're
putting my foot down on
guaranteed to
this.
look like one.
Yeah.
You'll look like one.
Watch
when
them
we go
both
back to
just
this
be like
clip.
completely average.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. They go like
tough to say.
they go like 9 and 8.
All right, preseason.
If they're average, I'll look like a fool.
Preseason division MVP.
True.
It's kind of hard to not say like TJ Watt after that, but
Kenny Pickett.
God,
Kenny pick 6.
Oh, you said pick 6. Oh, yeah.
Ziggy, who you got as your? So who do you actually have? Do you have Watt? You just gonna say Steeler?
Me?
Yeah, who's
I have
your-
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really, really good.
What do you think, Ziggy?
I seriously think it's Deshaun Watson.
I thought he was about to say David Njoku.
Oh, but you said non-quarterback. No, that was the last
No,
segment.
this is not.
No, this is preseason MVP. Who's good?
I'm tired.
There's a lot going on here.
I'm tired.
I think the Browns' offense is going to feast next year. I think they're going to take a huge step forward, and it's going to be on the back of Deshaun Watson.
Okay. I'm public poll. I have to still go with Joe Burrow at this point. Like he's amazing, guys.
Look at this guy. Next, he's going to say Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson is a good
good
quarterback.
Lord.
Yeah, to me it's between Burrow and Lamar Jackson, as any sane person would pick in the AFC North.
This guy,
It's back. I think it'll be very close. I think Lamar's
This guy
going to have an
freaking-
excellent year. I think Burrow might be my favorite to win MVP.
this
now.
guy bets Duke and the Yankees, and this
Yeah,
guy's
he-
unreal.
and he wins. And he wins.
No, I don't think you do.
No, the one time I follow you guys, I get screwed with
That's
tactics.
because you mush it.
But Bengals and Ravens, though, that to me, Lamar and Joe Burrow. Those are my two back and forth. Bronco
Figures,
Burrow.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
All right, predictions. You're not gonna lie. So I actually simulated I picked every game here. I picked every game. You know, it took. Wait, what are you laughing at?
I don't know, because you told me in the car, and now you're saying, for some reason, it was just so funny.
Yeah. So I simulated all the games just to see, where's my head at right now. And I actually had the Steelers in last place.
Good.
10-7. 10-7 though. Apparently I am very high on
10
the
and
AFC
7. I will bet you a bag is not last place in the AFC North.
Ooh. You got a bag on it?
Like,
Oh,
if
you
we-
bet a
You
bag
can't
on
put
it?
it back.
Like,
If
if
10
they-
and 7 is
like-
the worst record in the division,
Like
that'd be
if
an
they,
anomaly.
yeah, if they have 10 wins and come in last, I will give you a bag.
Hey, dude,
I mean, that was
look,
the AFC last year, right? AFC East? Right? That was almost the AFC East last year. With the Patriots going 9-8.
The AFC North champ every year gets like 11 wins.
Hey, look, man.
Like,
No, it was close. So I had the Steelers at 10-7. I had the Browns at 11-6, and then I believe I had the Bengals and Ravens tied at 12-5. And
Baltimore 12 wins is too much.
Baltimore's really good.
They're not really good.
Baltimore's really good.
No, they're not. We own them. The last 2 years, big games on the road, we've beat one and beat them. We own them.
I do have to say, the Ravens seem to just crumble.
They do. They
From
do.
mid-season, just seem to
they
crumble.
Do. They are a crumbling team.
I don't know what it is. They just seem to crumble. They start off so high. Everybody's so high on them. And then, halfway through, there's just a crumble. I don't know what happens.
And there will be again this year. Trust me. I've seen it for years.
So I believe I had a tie at 12-5 for the Bengals and Ravens. I'm going to actually give, F you guys. I'm going to say the Ravens win the AFC North. The Ravens are my division winner.
That would be a Vikings fan just because he likes the color purple.
Yeah, there is a correlation.
Okay, go ahead. So what do you think of?
Well, I
10-7 is a great record. It's a great season for you guys.
predicted. No, it's not. I won more. I predicted the Steelers' schedule on this show, and I had us going 15-1. That was delusional. I'll admit that was delusional. I looked back at it. We'll probably be 14-2. So I have us in first.
there's 17 games, man. There's
Yeah.
17 games.
So
15-1 is delusional for multiple reasons.
I said 15-2. I meant 14-3. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll win the North. The Bengals will come in second. The Ravens will come in third. And then way, way down at the bottom with like the Texans will be the lowly Browns coming in fourth.
Okay, Ziggy, what do you think of the AFC North?
Steelers fourth, Ravens third, Browns second, Bengals first.
All right, there we go.
Zach, what's your North ranking?
What's my North ranking?
Throw the camera on yourself real quick.
Oh, you're true. True that. I forget. I always forget that
Yeah.
sometimes on me.
And I have to get my pen anyway.
I also have to get like fucking shorter because, Paul doesn't size it to me. Look at this. Do you see this?
I can't see it.
I know you can't see
Zach's
it.
going to give a good ranking here. I
yeah.
know he'll give a good ranking.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you kidding me? This, you know what comes out of his mouth when he talks on this show? All right, go on,
Only
let's hear it.
greatness. I will give it to the Bengals this year, even though I believe Jamar Chase is going to be the biggest bust again this year, like we always say on the show.
I agree.
Agreed. I will put the Steelers next because, again, they just always seem to be there. And then we're going to go with the Ravens because, again, I'm just going with the crumble theory. They just have this crumble midway through. They start out how everybody starts talking about them. Lamar just stops playing, I guess, and everything goes downhill. And then I just don't believe in Deshaun Watson.
That's a good ranking. I'm fine with that ranking. Fine ranking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like,
I think
this
you
is
tore-
a great division.
You two are out of your minds with that foolish ranking.
It's 10-7. Like, look, if the Browns lose 3 games, you're probably a wild card team. 3 more games, you're a wild card team. For me.
Fair.
All right, so there you go. There's the AFC North. Zach, you want to do a couple of those?
Yeah, I'll do a couple.
Those jersey things. We'll end with the December draft, and we'll get out of here. Or December draft. We'll end with the months draft.
Oh, did you just tip your pitch?
I could have.
You just tipped your pitch?
I could have.
This pitch.
December is on my mind. I do love December.
All right. Since we were already talking about the Ravens, right? Who wore number 8 before Lamar Jackson?
I'm Baltimore. Who
I'm
wore
Baltimore.
Number 8.
Oh, man.
This could wind up being more difficult.
I'm surprised I don't know this, but it's probably... I've watched Baltimore for years. I don't even recall
Trent
number 8.
Dilfer.
Nope.
I don't recall number 8 ever on Baltimore.
I don't think any.
I don't know, Ziggy.
Ziggy could be looking it up right now, about to say. I see that.
Well, no, I know Trent Dilfer didn't Kyle Ball do it?
Hank Aaron?
I know no one else.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 Ravens players I even know.
What'd you say?
Kyle Baller.
No, it's Matt Schubb.
Matt
Shaw?
Shaw?
Matt
I
Shaw.
forgot he was
Flacco's backup.
What number was
Wait,
Trent
when was he
Dilfer?
even on the Ravens?
I don't know, but he was the last one to wear the number 8.
Well, he was the
All right,
Texan.
all right,
he was the
thanks.
Texan starter, and then he was Flacco's backup.
Ziggy, who what
Dang.
number was Trent Dilfer? Can you Google that, Ziggy? Do you
What
have
number
access
was
to that?
no? Trent Dilfer was 18, I think.
18. Oh, so was there an 8 in it? I don't know.
Yeah. So Trent Dilfer was 8. He was 8 when he was with
Wow.
Baltimore.
All right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but he wasn't the most recent.
It wasn't
though.
the most
No,
recent.
no,
Wow.
it's-
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about myself.
I feel like if we
wow.
can get any player who wore the number, we're ahead.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
I didn't know where Trent Dilfer played.
Next
no,
one.
we're not like expert number guys and for the
No.
for one
I think these
jersey.
first couple are a little hard. Who wore number 15 on the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes? Or like, who was the player before Patrick Mahomes?
I'm
wearing?
awful. at these.
Who wore
I'm
15
awful.
Yeah.
before Mahomes?
I don't
So
expect you guys to get this guy one bit because I have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know. I have no.
You
guess.
have no idea who he was.
I
Was
have
he-
no idea who this guy was. He looks like a receiver.
I have no guess. No guess.
15. He looks like a receiver. You said.
I'll give you another like 15 seconds because we're flying through
If you give
these.
us
I got nothing.
Nothing.
His first name is AJ.
I don't know. Wilson
AJ Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Never heard of him in my life.
Did he do anything in the NFL?
I'm trying to remember who was.
He wore the number 15.
I could have given a million guesses, probably never got it.
Yeah, he was one. I was like, who the heck
All right,
is he?
let's do a couple more and then we'll get into the months.
All right. Who wore number 1 last on the Eagles?
Number 1 on the Eagles.
Was he the kicker a couple years ago?
He was.
Yeah, what's his name? Parkey? Cody Parkey?
No, not Cody Parkey. Eagles.
Feely? No, not Feely.
No. The guy who was there forever.
Yeah, who was
Yeah.
the
Rob.
kicker?
Not Rob.
Who was the Eagles kicker?
No. I can see him in my. I can
Yeah,
see
so
him.
can I.
Oh wait, hold on. We can do this.
Caleb Sturgis?
Was he the
No.
kicker?
I
Is
think
Cody?
he was either the kicker or the punter.
Oh, if he was a punter, I don't know.
Wait, who was
He
the
might be the
kicker?
punter.
Who? Dawson
kicker
was
was, I think, was
Dawson the
Cody
old kicker?
Parkey.
No, wasn't. I'm thinking the old kicker. Was that like Phil Dawson? Oh my.
I was like AJ Feely.
This guy's bald. Let's put it that way.
Jay Feely.
What's his initials?
Oh, that's who was it, Jay Feely, though,
CJ.
right?
CJ.
Yeah,
This
first name
is-
C,
I don't think
last
this
name
is.
I don't think I know.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Cameron Johnston.
Yeah, no.
That has to be the punter. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
that's-
don't
that's
think he was
probably
a
All
kicker.
right, one more.
Phil
This is
Dawson-
looking
Phil
rough.
Dawson was the kicker, right? The lefty.
I have no
Oh my
idea.
gosh, I can't remember that at all. I
right.
could be way off.
All right, Paul,
We
this
look
one.
like idiots to our fans right now. This is tough.
I mean,
Here, I'll give you two more just because the last one you'll get. This one, Paul might get
Well,
this one.
give us one that we could get, and then give us this. Give us the one we could get, and then give us the
right.
the tough one to end.
Who wore number 9 before Joe Burrow?
9 before Burrow. Palmer.
Oh yeah, Carson Palmer.
Yeah,
yeah,
Palmer.
yeah.
Okay.
They had him on this list. People were furious at the NFL for having him on here
Why?
because there's a bunch of like no names.
Oh, and then Carson.
and then
yeah,
Carson
yeah, yeah.
Palmer's on there.
Who's
and then this one is for Paul. Who wore number 18 before Justin
Sidney Rice.
Jefferson? No,
Sidney Rice wore 18 for sure.
There was another after that.
it was before Justin Jefferson. Who wore this
before
number?
before Jefferson, 18.
Looks like a punter and or a kicker. Definitely not a kicker. Yeah, it had to be a punter.
No clue.
No way this is a wide receiver.
Greg Jennings.
No, his name starts with a J
Hold on.
and his last name ends in an L
It's got to be a punter.
or starts with an L. Sorry.
You're not a real fan.
I might not be. 18. He's got to be the punter. It wasn't a kicker. JL.
Jordan, Jack,
I was pretty
Jack.
confident about.
Jeff.
Jay-
It's definitely Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah. Ziggy's definitely looking this up. I see those little hands.
Yeah, look at
typing
Ziggy's
away.
eyes. Ziggy's eyes
My
wandering.
hands are right here.
Who the hell was our punter? Jeff Locke?
Jeff
Yeah,
Locke.
yeah, Jeff Locke.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's Paul. That's Paul.
Well, that's
Yeah.
teamwork right there.
well, you know why
That's two
I knew
Vikings
that?
fans.
Because at the same time, the Pirates had a pitcher named Jeff Locke. We were talking about it. Oh, we have a Jeff Locke. Oh, yeah, so do we.
Jeff Locke was good. I think he was a lefty, if I'm remembering. He was okay. For
He was.
a few years.
Didn't he go to Georgia? Georgia special teams. I think I
I can't remember Jeff. I mean, obviously, I don't remember Jeff Locke too
I want to
well.
do this one.
I think he was okay.
I want to do one more just for Jack because he said this guy's name like 8 times. Who wore number 1 on Chicago before Justin Fields?
How did I say his name like 8 times?
Yeah, you said it. Like,
Parky.
Parky.
Parky, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
I really was thinking it would have been Sidney Rice, but I can remember Jeff Locke wearing 18 now.
There's some other good
Oh,
ones.
you know what it was? Parky's double doink against Philly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Philly, number 1 kicker.
Yeah, there's some other good ones on here, like who wore 87 before Kelsey was Steve Manieri.
Cody Parkey, I just looked up. He did wear number 1 in Philly.
Oh, really?
When did
Yeah.
Was he after Cameron Johnson?
No, it was 2014 to 2015. That was like the beginning of his career.
When was Cameron Johnston? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Cameron
knows?
Johnston was around as recently as 2021.
Let's go to the months. Let's go to the months.
All right, let's do the months and get out of here. The order will be Ziggy, Paul, Jack. If you can't remember how this works, we draft months, and then Zach determines who has the best big 3 or the best team of months. In this case, it would be months. So Ziggy, why don't you start us off with the months draft?
December.
Fuck you,
Done.
man.
Free money.
can't
I
believe I
mean,
gave away
hot chocolate, Christmas. You know, the snow starts a falling. It's a magic. Mariah Carey's on the on the radio station. December's just a magical month. Easy December number 1. So was every other month.
Yeah, I agree with
So
you.
you like
All
the
right.
freezing, bitter cold. You're a cold-hearted man.
You know, if it's not for the freezing bitter cold, you can't have hot chocolate around a bonfire.
Yeah, you could.
Do you not like presents, Jack?
I mean, December.
I get presents on my birthday.
December's the one. December's the one. It's
I
an
disagree.
amazing month. Remember? Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, we'll go with. Yeah, I will not say it. The 2nd pick for me. Sorry, I'm a little flustered after the thought that crossed my mind. The number 2 pick for me. I really do feel like I got screwed out of the 1 there because just after saying December, that was just horrible. Okay, the number 2 pick. I'm going to go with May. And the reason is you get a little bit of spring, you get a little bit of summer at the end. Love Memorial Day. The start of the summer is great. Feels like the Friday almost. I think June is really the Friday of summer. But May, the final couple weeks is just everything's great. All the leaves are finally starting to come out. Everyone's happy. May number 2.
I'm going to go with October
Great
because
month.
it's my birthday month. It really is a great month. You got Halloween. The weather's nice, not too cold, not too hot. Football's beginning. Football's in full swing, honestly, at that point. You're looking ahead to Thanksgiving and Christmas. October is a phenomenal month.
I love October as well. My birthday month, my father's birthday month,
Oh, everyone's birthday month.
friend Andrew, or my cousin, there's a bunch of people.
October.
Our friend Mike.
Everyone.
October.
Nobody likes October.
What do you mean? October's
You like October.
football, great football.
I like,
games going
I like
on.
full swing. Yeah,
Yeah.
full swing.
I like
heart of
one
football.
month in particular.
You probably like the worst. Yeah, I mean.
All right, let's hold on. Let's get through this, and then
All
you
right,
can
Jack,
weigh
you
in.
have the
So I get back to back now.
back to back.
I wasn't even
The
thinking.
turn. Now, it's interesting here with months. How do you balance out your teams? Like, if you're a fall guy, let's just pretend you're a fall guy and you take September or something. Maybe you don't want to stack up on fall. Maybe you want to be more well-balanced. I'm not anticipating him saying September.
I'm going to go with March solely because I believe it's it is
horrible pick.
It's the 3 best
horrible
weeks
pick
of the entire year.
March is a great pick.
Watching the NCAA tournament.
No.
4. Don't forget the greatest start to the March.
Zack's birthday. Your birthday.
That's right.
No.
So you get first of all, the worst month of the year is over. That's February. And you get the 3 best weeks of the sports year with the NCAA tournament. March.
That's what I'm talking about, Jack.
Dude, people don't realize how much March sucks. It is freezing cold still. It is miserable outside.
Do you mean?
March is a miserable
No, but you're
month.
getting towards spring.
The NCAA tournament, the NCAA tournament is amazing. But the rest of March, it blows.
Well, how could you not look forward to March 2nd? I'm inviting the boys
I
over.
love your
having
birthday.
some stromboli with a little pasta with vodka sauce,
your
homemade by
birthday's
my
great.
mother.
The month itself is just,
Well,
it is
March,
freezing. It's,
March, you're looking ahead to spring. April soon, May soon.
April's better. That's April. April's better than March.
And December's not freezing? Like, what the heck? What are we talking here?
There's a tournament
December
in
has all Christmas. The whole
April. There's no NCAA tournament in April. What's in April?
God, I do love the conference tournaments as well.
The whole month, the month of March is
You know what's
the
in
best.
April? April showers. You know what they bring?
April's a great sports month.
flowers.
It's one of the
Oh.
best sports months.
By a mile.
The first half of March is just other than Zach's
No,
birthday.
you got conference tournaments March 7th. But you know what it is too? The 2 months, the 2 worst months of the year are over when you get to March.
Fair enough. I can get behind that argument. Okay, that brings it to me now with May. Ooh. I'm going to go here. I'm going to double dip with May and June. I'm a huge June fan. I mean, that like when you're a kid, school gets out. Again, the Friday of summer. You still got everything to look forward to, your vacations. It's not too hot. Like July gets very hot around here. Like June's just a beautiful month. Everyone's happy again. Barbecues start to happen.
Yeah.
May and June, that back to back. All right, Ziggy, you have the most wonderful time of the year. What are you going to pair that with?
Wonderful.
I hate to double dip in the winter, but you can get an absolute cornering on sports of January, and that's what I'm going to pick. We got all the college football in December and January. We got the college football national championship. We got a hot NHL playoffs. You got the Australian Open.
NHL playoffs? What the hell are you
Or
talking about?
NFL, excuse me. It's the NHL regular season. You got some of the better conference playing college basketball, but it's those bowl games in that national championship of college
I mean,
football.
you guys are
Those
checking
games.
off the bottom of
See,
my
like
list.
I can't really knock Ziggy anymore because I took March solely for the NCAA tournament.
January's fun. I mean, I love the NFL playoffs, but man, Ziggy,
I mean, January for a sports fan
it's a
honestly
great
is
month.
awesome.
Great month.
Yeah. So
But-
and that's his angle.
But you know.
But
then,
I mean,
you-
January is a horrible month, but like
I mean,
for
February's the
sport,
worst.
he's going for sports, like sports fan, yes.
Yeah, you guys can sell me on January and March for sports, but I'm skeptical.
Like the rest of the world will not agree.
I mean, let's see. Ziggy might take February here and blow up.
Well, there's only one month that's got a famous song about how great it is. It's gone unpicked. September.
song
Do
is
you
that?
remember the 21st night of September?
See, my mind went to the Taylor Swift.
Like,
August.
it's done. I mean, September's a great month, right? Like the weather's not too hot. Football's back. You start to have like real like fall things start happening. You can start getting apple cider and all that. But
September's a nice month.
I mean, the song steals it. Give me September all day.
It's a nice month. I like September.
It's a sleeper month. It's just a low key solid month.
This is tough for me here now because I look at May and June, amazing months, and I actually have one of my top 5 months still left on the board here in July. But I don't know if I want my team to be May, June, and July.
You guys need to go on the road in cold weather and you get murdered.
May, June, July feels like we have weaknesses. So I will go one below that, and I will take November. I love Thanksgiving. It's my second favorite, right behind Christmas, and it kind of kicks off that best time of the year for me is November to December, and I just love that time of the second half. The first half of November is okay. It's really kind of carrying over from October with football and stuff. But why are you laughing, Ziggy?
I think it's a comical month choice.
I love Thanksgiving, so I'll have November. I have to imagine you go July here.
1,000%.
Yeah.
July's on the board.
July
Saturday,
4th.
the Saturday of the summer. July 4th, America's birthday. Barbecue season. Nice weather. Sun shining.
July's great.
We're in the pool. People are happy.
Cornhole.
It's bright outside.
Cornhole.
Cornhole.
You understand my dilemma,
I
though,
can
right?
keep the list going on and on July.
If you were me,
just-
would you have taken July?
No, because you already had May and June.
Yeah.
So I understood. But for me, who has September and March, like,
Ziggy.
I'm just saying,
October,
America's
March.
birthday is in September.
No, it's July 4th.
No, it's September 17th. Signing of the
76.
Constitution. You're talking about whatever Articles of Confederation. Oh, we're just going to shoot some people and not
When
actually
do we
govern.
celebrate America?
You should
When do
celebrate
we
on September
celebrate
17th.
Just tell me when we celebrate America.
All right, so what went undrafted? We had August, April, and February.
I feel like those are good months to go undrafted.
Yeah.
August, start of school. April is the cruelest month. February is short and
See,
miserable.
what you're talking about, yeah, that's right for February. What you're talking about with April is the way I would describe March. No offense, Zach. No offense.
Well,
Well,
February.
no offense.
Well, you got nothing in February because March again. You have the tournament. People. That's the best thing in the world.
Your February break.
February.
That's all you have.
But you have it's the Super Bowl's over in early February. You're like you don't have the tournament yet.
Don't forget about the 14th, guys. Lover's Day.
Oh,
Lover's
no,
Paradise.
Valentine's
Well, I
Day
guess
makes
you
it
got-
worse, not better.
I mean, we have 4 single men here, so Valentine's Day did nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, horrible month.
All right, so there you go. So we have Ziggy with December, January, and September. Paul with May, June, and November. And Jack with October, March, and July.
I think I blew you guys out. I'm just saying. Like I don't think that's close.
And the winner of today's draft goes to Jack.
It was a great draft. I think March is
March is-
questionable.
No, March is not questionable.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. You had Zach.
You have to understand. You don't know who you're picking for.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't know who you're picking for.
Good draft.
Ziggy's a close second.
Okay,
draft.
okay, I can live with that. I would have won if
In
it weren't
June?
for the
What's wrong?
What?
Wait, January and September are better than June and November?
Yeah. He's got the
Also, Paul, you remember December just
December's
so
scary.
was.
December is
Yeah.
amazing. I think January
Zach,
was so
you're a
bad that I
December
may
guy
have-
too. You're a
I'm
December
a
guy.
December
December's
guy.
great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bro,
getting December is like
literally
getting
right
Shaq
above,
in
right
your
above
big
this
three.
room. No, not right above this room. Right to our right.
Giant Christmas tree.
Giant Christmas tree.
Oh, December.
last
December's
20
amazing.
I think like December 23rd.
23
to like,
years. Family get together.
I think Ziggy could have bodied us if he took July.
You know why, too? People are just so much happier in December. People are just so much happier in December.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, well, the
again,
holidays, yeah.
The end of Thanksgiving to basically
Like-
New Year's is
Well,
just.
the problem is Thanksgiving's
Yeah.
becoming like irrelevant. People like
Oh.
when you go to stores, there's not one Thanksgiving thing
well,
anymore.
Zach,
love
that's because to me, it's not been commercialized. I value
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
You're right.
Thanksgiving.
You know what's great about Thanksgiving though? There's one great thing.
A bag day, yeah.
Hey, bag day.
I mean, that is a good day.
Well, that Wednesday before Thanksgiving is like one of the best nights of the year.
Super fun night.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, last year.
Jack and Paul black out every
Ziggy,
night.
It was bad. No. We. All right.
What do you mean? You did black
We don't
out.
need this on air.
That
I know I did black out. but-
The stretch from Thanksgiving
bad.
to New Year's is awesome. Because I am blacking out most nights. That stretch.
I'm not a big eggnog fan though. I wish I liked eggnog more.
Eggnog's not bad.
Oh, by the way, Ziggy, we're all
Hallmark
24
Christmas
here.
movies.
We're all
Oh.
24. We deserve. We could have a drink here and there.
Yeah, we could have a drink as a Zach saying we black out. I did not black out on Thanksgiving. I just had a very fun night.
That's an awesome night.
You know what? Here's the key.
If that's what you want to call it, Paul. Yeah.
If you're listening and you're 21 or older, you can have a fun night, but never be the worst one there.
Oh,
You know
that's-
what? That's if Bud Light wants to sponsor us or anyone wants to sponsor us, we'll push this message.
That's it. Like, listen. You can have a fun night, but do not be the worst one there.
Oh, we already know who the worst one.
even
there.
second.
worst one was that night.
We're not gonna say that. You don't have to be the second. Probably don't want to be second. If you could come in at third or below that, you're having a great time.
We all think
And
of the
that's
same people, though.
That's the ride. That's the line that I ride.
You're rattling us off. Second, third.
Yeah.
Look, we were probably like third or fourth.
No, I already know who number one
All right.
was that
Before
night.
Zach starts listing names, we will call that a
I
show.
won't list names,
We'll see you on Thursday for our Thursday show. I'm not sure what division yet. Maybe NFC West or NFC South. That's who we have next.
Did you not tell them they're getting special episodes? Paul's leaving us soon, so we have to make some nice special episodes.
Yeah, so we have to record a couple. We'll be doubling up on some recordings this week because I'll be gone for a week, and it'll be good for us to take a little break and refresh before August starts. August, which would be probably the 10th or 11th best month according to our
Sunday of the
poll
summer.
here.
It's a Sunday of the summer.
Yeah, a
But
little
like
sad, but
once
still-
the NFL
still
season's
great.
going, I mean, it's going to be pedal to the metal for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so if you're enjoying this, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Every subscriber goes a long way. We're trying to.
we want to thank you guys for 600. Actually, 650 now.
Yeah, 650. That's exciting.
That's exciting stuff. Thank
exciting
you.
stuff.
Yeah,
So
on
far,
our
we're
way
having
to
our best
1,000.
month too.
Yep, been our best month. We appreciate everyone who's
So
listening.
keep it up for us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
July. It's been our best month.
July. Gosh, great pick, Jack. We'll see you next time on the Paul Farrington Show. Thanks for listening.